Yeah, once again, good afternoon to one and all. So we'll start the session that on traditional agriculture and its modernization in India. So here we discuss about the what is the nature of the agriculture economics, how it is mean by agriculture economics. So what we can study in agriculture economics we discussed. So therefore now it is a time to discuss the traditional agriculture and its modernization. So how the traditional agriculture was there in olden days, now how it has modernized in the present scenario. For example, if you take into consider the agriculture, how the farmers are cultivating the crops. Think about how the farmers are cultivating the land by using a different technologies. For example, earlier, what method they have adapted, and at present, what method they are adopting. So there is a huge difference between the olden agriculture and present agriculture. Nothing but traditional agriculture and modern agriculture.
Modern agriculture.
See, when you take into account almost every day and everywhere, one here emphatic assertion that is to old age and unscientific, backward and primitive characters. It means that in olden days, the old methods have been used to cultivate the crops. Nothing but to cultivate the land. They might have used the unscientific methods and backward and primitive character. Nothing but whatever they have used, that is the primitive character of our agriculture, which has been and remains the cause of widespread hunger. For example, when they have used this unscientific and primitive characteristics of the inputs to produce the output, so when they have adopted unscientific methods, so it cannot cause it causes to widespread of hunger. Nothing but they didn't produce more and more. That's why the hunger has taken place. For example, by using traditional methods, the output is very less. Am I right? When you use the or traditional agriculture or methods, we can get less output. For example, if you take with fertilizer, without fertilizers, as I told you in the beginning, so the treatment, for example, the science people they will use that it is called treatment. For example, as economics people, we can use before and after, or controlled and uncontrolled. For example, if you take 2 acres of paddy, okay, so when you use the fertilizer for 1 acre, if you don't use fertilizer to the another acre, so how much the production has come from the fertilizer part, and how much production has taken place without fertilizers? We can say organic sometimes. Nowadays, most of the people are calling organic form. So here, when the output is less, the most people, the nothing but most number of people, they didn't consume the rice. It means that so they don't have the sufficient food to have the their breakfast or lunch or dinner. So it causes widespread hunger and malnutrition. For example, in earlier, most of the people have been used only the less malnutrition crops. Nothing but most of the farmers have cultivated less malnutrition crops. Nowadays, if you take into account, most of the crops are having malnutrition. Nothing but which crop has a more malnutrition, which has a good demand in the market. For example, if you take into account which have the more malnutrition crop, which has a high value. So here nowadays, most of the people are cultivating the high malnutrition crop. Nothing but high value crops. Nothing but commercial crops. Nowadays we can call commercial crops, which has a high value. So for example, if you take into consider, so before 30 or 35 years, had the people have consumed fruits and vegetables more, only less fruits and less vegetables they might have consumed. At present, see, due to technological changes, most of the people are consuming the fruits and vegetables. And here, when they are adapted a traditional method to cultivate the crops, so the poverty was very high in the olden days because they spend a lot of money, but the output is very less. So therefore, this very close relationship between hunger, malnutrition, poverty. Okay, so most of the people accept the faith, the view that our salvation lies in calling upon modern science and technology to perform their widely published miracles, such as so-called green revolution, So in 1965, what was happened? Yes, please. So when the Green Revolution was taken place? Yes, please. Hello, Bhagyalakshmi, and others, Tony, Kavita, or other people. Sumalata, Divya. When the Green Revolution has taken place, Amma? When was the Green Revolution was introduced? 1965. Am I right? Hello. So in the 19th century, the Green Revolution, 1965, it was introduced. So why they have introduced the Green Revolution? In order to improve the output. Do nothing but output in the paddy as well as wheat. So in order to improve the output in the paddy and wheat, so the Green Revolution concept was introduced in our India in the 1965. So here, when they are introduced the Green Revolution, so the output has been increased. The first time they have introduced this concept in the Punjab and Haryana. Remember Punjab and Haryana.
Yes.
Divya.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you have any doubt regarding this one? So this is one of the green innovations, one of the major thing in our agriculture economics. For example, if you take into account the Indian society, the agriculture has always been according to the important position in our Indian economy. For example, from the 1950 to 2020, the agriculture plays a very important role, but the contribution of agriculture sector has been declining during the recent years. Why? So the government of India has given more priority to the service sector as well as industrial sector. Therefore, the contribution of agriculture sector has been declined during the recent years. So, but during the starting years, for example, after the independence, if you take from the 1951 to 52 to 1991, so the contribution was very high in agriculture sector. In Indian economy, the agriculture contribution is very high. For example, if you take the major decline from 1991, because in the 1991 the LPG was introduced. What does the LPG mean?
Liquid petroleum.
Yes.
Liberalization, privatization, globalization.
Yeah. So this concept was introduced in the July 1924, 1991 July 24. So after the introduction of this LPG, the production of the agriculture has been not production. The contribution of agriculture sector has been decreased. At the same time, after introduction of globalization, from the 1991, the service sector has taken place. Nothing but the contribution of service sector has been increased from 1991 to at present. So here, when you take, there is an endless evidence, including several British and European accounts, to show the flourishing state of our agriculture in the pre-British period. Nothing but before British, nothing but before entered the British, before ruled by the British, our agriculture sector has taken place. Nothing but our position was very good. There is a pre-British period. So several indigenous practices which were performed centuries ago, nothing but before the British, such as the rotation of crops, nothing but see nowadays the most of the people have been applying the rotation of crops. What is in the rotation of crops? Let me know first. Yes, please. What is my rotation of crops?
After one crop, they might take some leisure period, sir.
Yeah.
Is it right?
So rotation of crop, nothing but say in the season, if you sow the paddy seeds, paddy,
Next, they will show other thing.
or maize, or
Not
cotton,
paddy.
or other crops. Okay, so the rotation of the crops. So earlier the people, nothing but the people has to follow the rotation of the crops. At present, are they are following the rotation of the crops? Only less percent of the people are following the rotation of the crops. Majority of the people are cultivating the same crop on same field. For example, cotton. If they are producing cotton this year, they may going to cultivate the cotton in the next year and the next year also. Same cotton. Here, when you are cultivating this one crop, same during the different seasons, you will lose some production. When you are rotating some crops, automatically you will get more production when you are rotating the crops. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
For example, here in Telangana, say most of the people are using unirrigated areas. Simple, I am coding unirrigated areas. So maize, cotton. So in this year, the people use it to cultivate the cotton. After the cultivation of the cotton, they may be used to cultivate the maize. Okay. Hello. అర్థమైందా అమ్మా?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
తప్పుడు చేస్తలేరట. For example, several indigenous practices which were performed centuries ago, such as rotation of the crops and practicals of drill husbandry, were relevantly unknown in the 17th century of Europe, are often cited as the major advances achieved during the 18th century. There is the agricultural revolution in Europe. For example, in our India, the agricultural revolution was happened in the year of 20th century. But if you take Europe countries, in Europe area, so the agricultural revolution has started in the 18th century. They are too advanced compared with our India. So as to provide a market for British goods, for example, see, in earlier the British people were ruled the India, so that they will purchase some goods and they will transport the goods from our India to other British countries, that is England. So in order to provide the market for British goods, the colonial governments could not contemplate a similar policy regarding the Indian agriculture. For the government to realize the substantial land revenue, it was imperative that the Indian agriculture should continue to be productive. For example, see, when you are studying the history, the in England people, nothing but those British people, they are conducted nothing but they were collected some land revenues. Okay, so at the same time, whatever we produce, they will pick up. They think, but they can hand over that production and they will pay some little bit of money, and which can be imperative, and that the Indian agriculture sector and should be continue to be productive. So what is the improves of Indian agriculture sector? Let me know that. So after the independence, how our agriculture sector has got some positive impact, nothing but the improves in agriculture sector. So there was also effects made by the British to improve the Indian agriculture. See here, in order to improve the agriculture sector, so the British government has also given some inputs to improve the agriculture sector. During the 18th centuries and 19th centuries, under the headship of the British, that is the Royal Botanical Garden and Botanical Survey of India, to accumulate exotic crops of commercial importance to Indian conditions. It means that simple, when they are under the Royal Botanical Garden as well as Botanical Survey of India, which has given more importance to the commercial crops, which are comfortable or which are same Indian condition. For example, see, if you take apples which are produced in Jammu, so if you have that that kind of climates only we can produce the goods and services. Otherwise, we cannot produce that goods and services. So here, as per Indian climatical conditions, so they have given some suggestions and they were given some suggestion, as well as they have produced some commercial crops which are more related to the Indian conditions. So that is one of the improvement in agriculture sector by use of ruled by the British government. And introduction of new crops such as the tea. For example, if you take the tea, most of people will have the tea. So here, in order to produce the tea leaves, in order to produce the tea powder, so the tea powder has come from the tea leaves. For example, if you take Assam, Meghalaya, which are the more famous for the tea production, right? So here, that location, that climatical condition is very comfortable for the tea production. If you want to produce tea here in Telangana, so you may not get such kind of production. So here in those days, the British government, they have introduced the tea crops. Tea crops. The various observative efforts to grow long stapled American variety of cotton. At the same time, the European people, they have given a lot of efforts to grow the American variety of cotton, and setting up the various kinds of plantations run by Europeans. At the same time, they have given more efforts, nothing but they have done a lot of efforts towards to improve that American variety of cottons as well as the plantation crops. And in the second half of the 19th century, what was happened? So there was a talk of affecting large-scale improvements in agriculture sector or Indian agriculture. All this talk merely led to the establishment of few experimental farms, some agriculture schools. For example, in order to do this kind of efforts or experiments, what they can do, so they have given a lot of improvement, the large scale improvements in the Indian agriculture. Nothing but, so they have given a lot of machines and a lot of technology they have given and they have supplied to improve the Indian agriculture. At the same time, they have established a few experimental farms. For example, in order to develop, for example, research and R&D, we can say research and development. For example, here when the genetically modified GM crops, think about genetically modified crops. For example, we can say the what is called hybrid. Have you listened about hybrid seeds?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it is a combination of both. Am I right? Or more than two?
Yes, sir.
So it is a one kind of technology which is given by the European countries. So here the establishment of few experimental farms, nothing but in order to experiment, nothing but in order to do some practicals, other thing by labs. So they were given some farms also, and some agricultural schools also they were implemented. Nothing but they introduced some agricultural schools to develop agriculture sector in our India. And during that 1971, the government, the set up that central development of revenue, agriculture, and commerce. So it was set up. The agriculture development established has been amply justified as resulted in the addition of a considerable increase of revenue to state. At the same time, the European government has given some lot of implement, nothing but they have given a lot of suggestions to improve the agriculture sector. At the same time, they have given suggestion to collect the revenue from the agriculture. So in order to collect the revenue, so for example, in order to collect the income tax from the people, so the government is establishing an income tax office. Like that, in those days, the British government has established a center, that is the Central Department of Revenue and Revenue, Agriculture and Commerce, in order to collect the revenues from the farmers. So after getting revenue from the farmer, which will increase the revenue of the state, nothing but the government revenue will be increases. So therefore, they might have conducted the they might have collected the data. And there is no single advantage that could be affordable to the rural population of India that would be equal to introduction of improved system of agriculture. And a Femen Commission of 1866 said that large-scale improvements be carried out in India. So the Femen Commission also there, which was there in during the 1986-66. So they have given suggestion to establishment of large scale improvements to be carried out in Indian agriculture. In order to overcome such kind of problems, the famine commission also given some suggestions to improve the large scale industries with regard to agriculture. And the agriculture sector is an art that has been entirely neglected. If you take into consider from the 1991 to at present, the agriculture sector has been neglected. It is being carried on very much in the same way now as it was 2,000 years ago. For example, when you compare 2,000 2 to 3,000 years ago, the agriculture was not neglected because it was a huge priority towards to cultivation of the agricultural crops. At present, when the industrial sector has taken place and service sector has taken place, most of the people as well as government has neglected this agriculture sector. And the backward of state of this most important of all arts is permanently appeared in India. For example, if you take the backward state of this most important of all arts in permanently appeared in India. For example, when you take this 200 years ago, there was a huge importance towards agriculture development. Day by day, the sectors has been neglected by the government because of the government is not providing a sufficient price to the agricultural crops. And at the same time, they are going to increase the input prices every year and every quarter also. So that is another thing. Then it no advancements and no improvement has been effected during the several ages. When we are discussing about agricultural sectors in the different ages, nothing but different periods, so there was no improvement has been effected. And the implementation of husbandry are the same as before. For example, if you take husbandries, so here when before implementation, after implementation, there was no difference between the husbandries. And so is the mode of cultivation, thus reducing the land of one's boundless wealth to comparative poverty. At the same time, when you are using land to produce a goods, so automatically it can reduce the land. Nothing but it can be degraded. Nothing but when you are plowing more and more, the land cannot be fertile more and more. Okay. Therefore, the the boundless wealth to comparative poverty. So which can be affect the poverty as well as wealth. So these are the some few points. Okay, I think I have taken more time also. Yeah, let me know that time is very less within 1 minute.